NBA season awards. This segment was a lot more fun about 30 minutes ago because I made it a point to not look at any of my favorite writers, not look at any of my favorite broadcasters, podcasters, etc., to see what they voted on before I did my own ballots, because I didn't want to jack none of that shit. I wanted to come to all my own conclusions, research my own stuff, this, that, and the third. So I did that. But before I started, I said, okay, in case I missed anything, let me go back just to see. Come to find out, I have the same ballot as so many other people. So this just became so much less fun. But, you know, we're going to try to make this shake some way, somehow. Let's start with the All-NBA teams. First team All-NBA, Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Jason Tatum. So those last two were the debatable ones with two players who will be on the second team All-NBA. I won't spoil yet. Only because Jason Tatum, points per game wise, this is not his best season. But he is more efficient and averages a career high in assists. And I wanted to check my own personal Celtics bias. And also as my favorite player, obviously. I put the poll out on Instagram to see who they voted for between Jason Tatum and Player X, who will be coming up on the second team. And Player X only won by a vote. And since I'm the one with the microphone, goddammit, I'm making the choice. So Tatum got the vote. And with Giannis, them getting that 3 seed really rubbed me the wrong way, but then I had to ask myself, if Giannis wouldn't have missed those games down the stretch, would they still be the 3 seed? Probably not. So I had to give it to Giannis. SGA, Luka Doncic, and Jokic, I feel like those go without explaining. Those have been the 3 best players all season long. In some order, that's going to be pretty much everyone's MVP valid. We'll get to mine later in the segment, but first team All-NBA. The 2 players that could have replaced Giannis and Jason Tatum, remember All-NBA is positionless this year, even though I didn't really go positionless that much, were Anthony Edwards and Jalen Brunson, just because they were asked to do way more and carry so much more of a load. Teams surrounded by injuries, both the number one with a bullet, number one option on their teams. But when you put their numbers next to the 2 guys that ended up getting the first team All-NBA, they just don't stack up. Then the other 3 to round out second team All-NBA, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, and Anthony Davis. I had to get Anthony Davis at least up to second team because, oh my God, this has been the best Anthony Davis year since he's been a Laker. You got to give him credit some way, somehow. Kevin Durant went 27, 6, and 5 and played 75 games this year. This is an incredible Kevin Durant season. And one day, when Kevin Durant is retired, you guys are going to be so upset that you spent all this time being upset about a free agent decision he made almost a decade ago now, instead of just enjoying how awesome of a player he is. Granted, I'm biased. I'm from PG County, Maryland, so I'm never going to say a bad word about the man, but still. And then Kawhi Leonard, you give me 68 games of Kawhi Leonard looking like prime Kawhi Leonard, he's going to make an All-NBA team. Third team All-NBA, this is where I had to cheat with the positions a little bit. Jaylen Brown, LeBron James, Tyrese Halliburton, Steph Curry, and Paul George. So if I were to put a center there, gun to my head, must be done, it would have either been Sabonis or Rudy Gobert. And then I really had to look at it. Do any of those players deserve it more than Paul George? The answer is no. Do any of those players deserve it more than Tyrese Halliburton, who again, number one with a bullet option on his team? That team goes as he does. And towards the first half of the season, around play-in game, all-star game area, he looked like he was going to emerge as one of the 5 to 10 best players in basketball. LeBron James and Steph Curry, if they look like even somewhat resembling of themselves, they have to make all NBA teams. And they both look pretty damn good this year, even though they're both playing teams. And Jaylen Brown, Celtics bias, I'll fully admit it, but goddamn it, I feel like he's justified. If your team wins 60 plus goddamn games, you deserve 2 All-NBA players. Last takeaway from the All-NBA teams before I move off this subject. There's been a lot of talk these past couple years about how the foreign players are taking over the game. It's not just my ballot. It's a lot of other ones where the foreign players, the split is about 11-4, American versus the foreigners. I think we're blowing this out of proportion just a little bit. Even if Embiid would have played the whole season and he never got hurt, it would have been 10-5. Everyone can relax. All right, we're going to work our way up. Defensive player of the year. I'm giving it to Victor Wembanyama. I don't care. I don't care if it's too early. Rudy Gobert got 3 of them things. Anthony Davis would round out at the 3 spot. Victor Wembanyama, if you watch even 5 seconds of a Spurs game, you'll see how he just dramatically changes the defense of that team. You'll see how he changes the game plan of the other team. Even when you think you're safe from him blocking your shot, you're not. He has been the best defensive player I've seen all year long. I don't care what the numbers say. I don't care what the win shares say. Even the stocks look incredible. He is setting all-time records. Well, the season's over now. He has set all-time records already, and he's not even old enough to drink yet. Coach of the Year. Now, this is where I must protest because I hate that Coach of the Year awards don't work like this. Why do we not give the best coach on the best team Coach of the Year? Why? Why do we make this more difficult than it has to be? The Celtics won 60-plus games. This is Joe Mazzulla's second year as a coach ever. He's Coach of the Year. This isn't hard. This ain't hard. Mark Daigneault and Jamal Mosley round out the top 3, but come on now. Give Joe Mazzulla his award. Sixth man of the year, I was torn between these 3, actually. So Naz Reid ended up getting my vote for the 1 spot. Malik Monk and Norm Powell ended up going 2 and 3. This could have gone either way, and it might go either way. I won't be surprised if any of these 3 guys win. But Naz Reid is the only one of these 3 that give you that plus on the defensive end as well, and that's what ended up being the tiebreaker for me between the 3. And with the amount of time that Karl-Anthony Towns missed, he ended up being a starter for a lot of the season. That might disqualify him on some ballots, but for me, that's a plus. Rookie of the Year, Victor Wembanyama 3 different times. Cool. I'm kidding.
Chet
got the 2nd spot, and Brandon Miller got the 3rd spot. I know a lot of people don't watch the Hornets. Brandon Miller is fucking awesome. Brandon Miller's really good at the basketball thing. There's a world where the Hornets are in a situation similar to what the Timberwolves did, where they thought Karl-Anthony Towns was a star player until they drafted Anthony Edwards, and he's now their star player. In this situation, LaMelo Ball will be Karl-Anthony Towns, and Brandon Miller will be Anthony Edwards. Most improved player, Tyrese Maxey, mountain size gap, Kobe White, and then at the end, we got Dante DiVincenzo. So I'll be honest, I had to throw White Dante in there, just throw him some love, and I needed a 3rd player, but this is the Tyrese Maxey Award. James Harden left, and he just became their 2nd option immediately. Like, it didn't take 5 games to ramp up. Instantly, he became the 2nd option on that team. And when Joel Embiid was out, he was the 1st option on that team. Granted, the record didn't look as good as it should have. I think that had more to do with the fact that you can't replace Joel Embiid defensively as much as you can offensively, but Tyrese more than held his own for his position. All right, granddaddy of them all, drum roll please. The MVP for the 2023 to 2024 season is Nikola Jokic. What? No one surprised? You shouldn't be. The other 4 rounding out the top 5, Luka Doncic, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Giannis Antetokounmpo at the 5 spot. I put Jalen Brunson because I felt real bad not putting him on the first team All-NBA. You got to do something to commemorate his effort that he's done for that Knicks team, because if we're talking value, as much as I love Jason Tatum, you can't tell me Tatum's more valuable than Jalen Brunson, who's the only shot creator on the Knicks, is to the Knicks. So I had to give him that 5 spot.